Good morning, everybody. So just taking a look at today's notes. So we are looking at Introduction to Writing Equations. This is the new unit. So Unit 4, it's all going to be about this writing equations. This is not a, 4.0 is not a section in the iBook, but I felt like it was important to go over this stuff before we get into the other equations. So first thing, just recall that slope-intercept form of a linear equation is y equals mx plus b. So what you're going to see is that there's a lot of carryover in this unit from the last unit, which is good because I feel like some of you could use a little bit more practice. So remember that m is your slope and that b is your y-intercept. Okay, so that's very important. So the key piece of this this notes for today is that we can write a linear equation if we know or can find out what the slope and the y-intercept are, because then you can just plug them back in for m and b, right? So we're going to look at some different scenarios and just basically write the equation for each scenario. All right, scenario 1 is when you're given the slope and the y-intercept. So slope, in this case, is 1, and y-intercept, which we could rewrite as b. We know the letter b represents that in the formula, is -4. Okay, and that's right here. So, since we know that y equals mx plus b already has the slope and y-intercept in it, we can just go ahead and plug this in. So this would be y equals 1x minus 4, because it's -4. And we don't really need the 1 because 1 times anything is just itself. So there you go. There's our answer. Okay, just write in the form. Okay, for number 2, again, slope is 1/2, y-intercept is 7, so it makes it pretty simple. M is 1/2, b is 7. So y equals 1/2x plus 7. Perfect, done. Okay. All right, scenario 2 is going to be looking at a graph. So remember that on a graph, we still want to look for our slope and y-intercept. Okay, so let's pick 2 pretty good points. Here's one where it looks like it connects at the different intersections. And it looks like this is another one here. Okay, so our slope is always our rise over run. So let's see, we go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 4, that's positive. And we go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's a positive 5. So our slope is going to be 4 over 5. And our y-intercept here, it's right there at the value 0, 2. So that would be 2 for b. All right, so we're just going to use that information, plug it in. So m goes in front of x, and b is what we add on at the end, add or subtract, depending upon whether it's positive or negative. Okay, and example number 2 of this scenario, we have a y-intercept here, and it looks like another connection there, so we go up 2 over 3, so our slope is 2/3, and our b was at 0, -2, so that means that this is -2. So y equals 2/3 x minus 2. Done. Okay? So that's how you're writing equations. That's 2 scenarios already down. Now, one of the things that we really struggled with on the test was horizontal and vertical lines. So that hopefully this section will really solidify our understanding of that. But horizontal lines, as you remember slope do, they look like this. Okay? And we watched that video. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. And are written in the form because they cross. If you think about it, you have your x and your y-axis. X and y-axis. It always crosses the y-axis, right? So horizontal lines are written as y equals whatever number y-intercept that they have. You might also see it as y equals b because it's wherever the y-intercept is. Okay, vertical lines have a slope of be careful on your spelling here. That was not very good on the test either. Undefined, defined. Okay, not undetermined or unidentified. Some of us we're putting UFO on the test, but undefined. And vertical lines always have x equals some number. Okay, so give an example here. This first one is a vertical line. Okay, it goes through where x on the x-axis, it goes through x equals 3. And that's exactly what our equation is going to be, x equals 3, because it's a vertical line. Okay, horizontal line goes through the y-axis at 1, 2, 3. So this is y equals -3. Done. All right, let's continue on here. given a slope and a point, you need the y-intercept. So now we have a slope and we have a point. Well, there's no y-intercept right here, right? Okay, well, at least we know that this is an x and a y coordinate. So we know that m is negative 2/3. We just don't know what b is yet. But we can figure it out. Let's write our formula, y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. Okay, we have our slope is negative 2/3. Okay, we don't know what x and y are, and we don't know what b is. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this point that they gave us, and we're going to plug it in for the x and y, and then we'll solve for b. So I'm going to take out this x, and my x value was 3. I'm going to take out this y, and my y value in that order pair was 3. Okay, now I'm just going to solve. So 3 times 3, these cancel out, gives you a negative 2. All right, we want to get b by itself, so we're going to add 2. And 3 plus 2 is 5, so b is 5. So now our formula, y equals negative 2/3 was our slope, x, and our b value is 5, so plus 5. Done. Okay, write an equation with the slope of 0. Well, wait a second, we just did this. What type of equation has a slope of 0? It's a horizontal line, and it looks like this. Y equals some number. Okay, y equals, all right, so if it passes through the point 3, 4, here's our x and our y. Remember, it's a horizontal line, so it looks like this. So how do we write it? Well, exactly where it went through. So if it's a horizontal line, we look at our y value. In this case, it's 4, so this is y equals 4. Done. Okay, it would say x equals a number, remember, if it was an undefined slope. Okay, all right, last one, write an equation with the slope of 1/2. Well, that's easy, 1/2 x plus b, but we don't know still the y-intercept, so we're going to have to plug in again. Okay, x is 4. All right, and y is 8. So 8 equals half of 4 is just 2. Okay, subtract 2 from both sides. 6 equals b. Done. Okay. Okay, 2 more types, or two more different scenarios here. The first scenario here is when you have 2 points. Okay, so that gives us 2 points, but neither of them are slope and neither of them are the y-intercept. So we're gonna have to work our way through it. Well, if you remember, we can figure out slope from 2 points by using the slope formula. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? So y2 is 4, y1 is 3, x2 is 6, x1 is 2. Okay, 4 minus 3 is 1, 6 minus 2 is 4. So there's our slope. Our slope is 1/4. Okay, and we don't have our y-intercept, so again, we're going to have to take a number and plug it in. It doesn't matter which number you could use. It could be either of those. Okay, not a big deal. I'm just going to use 2/3, so, or 2, 3. So that would mean my y is 3. Okay, my slope is 1/4, I just figured out. X value is 2 plus b. Again, we're using y equals mx plus b here. So 3 equals 1/4 of 2 is 1/2. Okay, when I subtract a half, 3 minus a half is 2.5, or otherwise known as 5/2. Okay, so our formula here, y equals 1/2 x plus 5/2. We want them both to be in fraction form or decimal form, one or the other. All right, last one of this scenario. I'm sorry, we have 2 more, but this next one's not that bad because it says write an equation that goes to the points negative 2, 1, and 2, 1. So notice what value stays the same? The y value. So that means that this equation, no matter what, is going to have y equivalent to 1. So there's our equation. Okay, you could actually do the formula again, and that's okay. But it's going to give you a 0 slope, right? So you'd plug it in as a 0 slope, and that should tell you it should be 1. All right, number 3, you try, write an equation. I'll just go ahead and do it for you. So again, x1, y1, x2, y2. So 10 minus 5 over 6 minus 3 is 5 over 3. Okay, so we have y equals 5/3 x plus b. But we have to find b, so I'm going to use 5/3, or I'm going to use 3 comma 5. So 5 was our y value in that order pair, the first one I chose. 3 was our x value. Okay, so I have 5 equals 5/3. Well, this cancels, so that gives me 5. All right, subtract 5 from both sides. That gives me 0 equals b. All right, so our equation is y equals 5/3 x plus 0, or just simply 5/3 x. Done. Okay, last one here. We got a couple tables before I let you get to the exit ticket. This one clearly is changing by a -2. This is going up by a +1. So remember, when you have a table, it's the change in y over the change in x. So this would be -2 over 1, or what simplifies to -2. Okay, our y-intercept, our b, is whenever it crosses the y-axis. So thinking about it from a visual component, when it crosses the x and the y, when it crosses the y, like let's say it crossed here at 2, well, that coordinate point would be 0, 2, right? All right, so what was the x value when it crosses? It's 0. So we need to look in here and find where x is 0. Well, that's right here. So our y-intercept is 1, because that's what goes with it. So our formula is y equals -2x plus 1. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Looks like it goes up 4. This goes up 2. Maybe. So our slope is 4 over 2, which also simplifies to 2. Our y value is, or our y-intercept is when x is 0, so this is -12. And so our formula is 2x minus 12. Okay, so not too bad, right? All right, so there's an exit ticket. There's 3 questions in addition to this challenge problem. If you complete the challenge problem, I'll give you a couple bonus points as well. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys on Monday.